go ahead and start. All right, welcome everybody to the All About Nothing podcast, kind of daily show. You're joining me on TikTok, or you're joining on YouTube, or wherever you're joining. Thanks for checking us out. If you can, if you haven't yet, please follow the show. Whatever apparatus you're listening or watching on, it helps to drive us up in the content and such. Let's see. Uh, January the 3rd, 2025. We have the 119th 119th Congress gets sworn in today, and they will start their session with voting in a new Speaker of the House, which is uh, could could be quick, could be not quick, and not quick is kind of what I'm thinking it's probably going to be. It's probably going to be not quick. Um, Mike Johnson has got a struggle ahead of him because there are at least a couple. There's at least a couple of House Republicans that have said that they are never Johnsons. I'm paraphrasing. Those are my words. Never Johnsons seems like something that would be appropriate for Congress. Let's see. Um, yeah, I think it's a House representative out of Kentucky that has said that he will in no way, shape, or form ever vote for Mike Johnson. As well, there are rumors that there are a handful that will not vote for Mike Johnson, and I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but it would be interesting if there were a few no shows during the vote. And in there being no shows, it reduces the number of votes needed to become the Speaker of the House. And interestingly, present votes and no votes, those bring down the number of necessary votes. Now, that could work to the advantage of Mike Johnson, and he could see himself get elected with fewer votes. But assuming that all of the Democrats hold true to supporting Hakeem Jeffries, it it's entirely possible they bring down the number of votes necessary and Hakeem Jeffries wins the speaker position. I'm not saying it's going to happen. And for all the naysayers and all those people out there that, oh, this libtard is trying to, uh, push his agenda, I'm not. I'm just speculating on what would be an interesting outcome for this particular situation. I think it would be interesting to see what happens. Um, but yeah, so 119th Congress will get sworn in today. If you have the opportunity, watch it. It's an interesting process that goes. It takes place every 2 years, and all 435. Well, technically 434 members will be signed in because there's a couple seats that will not be sworn in for. Well, that's an assumption. Mike Johnson. Uh, I don't know why I said Mike Johnson. Matt Gaetz. Sorry, the two are not the same. I mean, not really. They're not really the same. Um, Matt Gaetz has said that he will not sit in the position that he was hired for, that he was voted in for. Matt Gaetz has said that he will. Uh, he has resigned his position in Congress and does not intend to show. I don't think anyone expects for. I don't think anybody expects Matt Gaetz to show up. Um, I mean, if he does, I think the likelihood is that the um, I think the likelihood is that Matt Gaetz shows up. Uh, One of the first acts of the House would be to oust him. Not being hateful. Come on, man, y'all. That's insane. Um, but I think the likelihood is that Matt Gaetz would probably be ousted almost immediately. Man, y'all are quick with these violations. Like, just put it in the comments. I'm not saying anything that is hateful. The House Ethics Committee released a report that clearly indicates that uh, Matt Gates definitely participated in some things that are outside of the ethics of the House, and it's just a fact. Regardless of how it makes people feel, a fact is a fact, whether you like it or not. It's like Donald Trump won the election, whether I like it or not. Donald Trump won the election. There's no getting around it. Um, so anyway, Uh, what else is going on in the news? We got they've identified the individual that was in the Tesla that did go boom boom in front of the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas. They now are identifying him as Matthew Livelsberger, who is a former Green Beret. He also apparently was located, or I guess he was based at the same base as the individual that participated in or committed the atrocity accused in New Orleans. They were at the same base at the same time. They were in uh, they were overseas together at the same time, not necessarily together, but they were in the same. It is sounding more and more like the individual that was involved in the atrocity in New Orleans was a he self radicalized. And what does that mean? Self radicalization. That something pushed him to the point where he idolized the, uh, um, I guess, the callings and the teachings and what it is that ISIS stands for, and uh, because he uh, self-radicalized the belief is that there's no actual link to ISIS, that they would not claim that they participated in what took place in New Orleans. Both of these individuals that participated in this over the weekend, or I guess over the holiday, so New Year's Day and then both on New Year's Day, but because those both of those individuals, uh, they're doing all these profiles and looking into their politics and things like that. And I don't know, I have not seen it published specifics, but it does sound like this Matthew Livelsberger from Colorado. It does sound like he was a registered Republican, and according to reports that have been online, it also sounds like he was um, a very proud Trump supporter. Uh, you know, I know this is one of those situations where uh, a lot of um, a lot of people on the right would really like to have been some sort of a liberal attack on Donald Trump or on whatever, but there's no evidence to support that so far. I'm not saying that it's not possible. I'm just saying that there's no evidence. Um, it's just where we stand, and they'll continue to investigate it, and they'll continue to put out information about who this individual was, who, what their politics were. I imagine at some point we're going to find out that Jabbar had potentially other political affiliates other than just his self-proclaimed tie to ISIS. Again, he had an ISIS flag with him. Um, it was on the truck. You could see it in the photographs and videos in the truck. So, it's not something that was planted. It's not something that was attached to the van. It's a fact. But the other fact is that both Jabbar and Levelsberger are both American citizens. They are both natural born American citizens. Both of them military veterans, army veterans. So take for that what you will. Um, I think there's still probably a lot of evidence and information that will come out about all of it, and we'll see where it goes. That's just where we're at. If you're in the southeast, or if you're in the middle of the country, you're probably starting to brace for either very cold weather or typically colder weather. But anywhere from Nebraska, Missouri, on over through Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, there's pretty significant snowstorm coming, one that we haven't seen in at least a year. And I know if you scroll through, if you doom scroll through the TikTok, you probably find a number of these self-proclaimed meteorologists that are out telling you just how many inches are going to fall and things like that. And I'm not one of those. I worked in TV and radio for several years in Atlanta, and hated hated having to report the weather. Uh, one of the old tropes that I use is that when I would have to do a weather report on the radio, I worked in a radio station that had nice exterior windows. I could see out across the Chattahoochee River in Atlanta, well, or close to the Chattahoochee River in Atlanta, and so I could kind of see the weather outside. And my suggestion to people was always, if you want to know, if you want to know what the weather is, stick your head out the window, because inevitably I would give a forecast. I would say it's 35 degrees here, clear skies, West Columbia, South Carolina, looking at a high today of 57. And inevitably, I would get the phones would light up with people wanting to tell me I'm down on the south side of Atlanta and it's raining. And it's like, well, that's highly localized. It's not raining. It's not raining here. The National Weather Service isn't reporting it's raining. But I think I suspect that TikTok is almost in some ways sort of that radio phone in show where people can call and correct you on things, and it's fine. It doesn't bother me. Uh, I will say what bothers me is people reporting lives as being hateful, or because they have a difference of opinion. It strikes me as interesting that people are so quick to report on TikTok rather than just put something in the comments. Yeah, that's right. You, I'm not sure what your name is, but it says right. You wake up to a 50-50 chance it rains. If it's cloudy, call that 70%. Buy me a new suit. Not wrong. Not wrong. Look, I have to believe we all have these devices and the capability of looking at the forecast or getting some sort of an update for the weather forecast, and we plan your day accordingly. That's the most important part. Georgia University of lost to Notre Dame last night in uh, the Sugar Bowl, means that they are out. There was a I saw a video of someone professing that they believed that the playoff committee uh, specifically chose teams to set it up so that it would be an SEC versus Big Ten in the Final Four of the playoffs. And if that was the case, it didn't work out. Georgia Georgia fell to Notre Dame. Georgia did not look good. Georgia's offensive line was allowed something like 4 or 5 sacks last night. That was brutal. And this isn't our podcast isn't always about sports. It's not always about news. It's not always about politics. We call our podcast good therapy. Um, but anyway, so back to Georgia losing. You know, it's Texas is still in. It could still be a Big Ten showdown in the top two. Um, that's a fact. Texas, and ultimately, I said this before. Um, Ohio and Texas and Notre Dame showed last night. They are a very good team. Notre Dame looked good, but I think Ohio and Texas are going to be the two teams that are going to be uh, those are going to be the big ones I mean, those are the two teams that I think are going to make it, and then between Texas and Ohio, throw a coin, toss a coin. That's gonna be a tough one. And honestly, I don't bet on games. I don't think that I have that level of acuity, intelligence when it comes to sports broadcasting and prognostication. But I don't know. That's gonna be tough. And if I had to go with my gut, I would probably say that if it's a Texas Ohio matchup, I'd probably have to say Texas. I'd have to say Texas. Uh, but it very easily could be Ohio too. I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't. It's going to be an interesting weekend. Um, I'm gonna wrap this up. But if you live in the middle part of or the middle east part of the country here in the United States, um, keep warm. If if you do get ice in some of that southern part of where this storm is going to track, you know, don't don't go out. If you don't have to, don't go out. Even if it's snow, just be careful because you've got the opportunity today to plan for it. You've got the opportunity to go ahead and take care of what you potentially need to take care of before all of it starts. So go ahead, take care of what you need to take care of so that you can stay home, stay safe. Don't go out. Ice is bad. Ice has the potential of ruining a lot of people's weekends, and I think it's just better just to stay home and just also if your power goes out, do not operate uh, any of these propane stoves in your house or anything like that. It's a terrible idea. You just don't do it. Just don't do it. Um, I know that across Missouri and Nebraska and Indiana and Illinois, Kentucky, there will be shelters open. Uh, if you had the opportunity to do it now, and check to see for shelters closest to you in case you are prone to potentially losing power. Because just be prepared for it now. Know where you can go in the case of a situation where you lose power and you need to seek out somewhere that has heat. Just know that up front now. Um, that's your best plan. That's your best plan. So, all right. That's going to do it for this morning's episode of the Kind of Daily Show for the All About Nothing. If you haven't subscribed to us, please consider subscribing. Follow us here on TikTok or on YouTube, wherever you're watching, as well. Um, yeah, for sure. Blue Wave, exactly. Pets, the same. You plan on making sure that your entire household is taken care of. So if you haven't followed us, please follow us here on TikTok or on YouTube. You can find all of the links available, theallaboutnothing.com. As well, we have a podcast we release weekly, comes out on all of the podcast platforms. Links for that also available on our website, theallaboutnothing.com. And if you are interested, we'd like to not have to pay for the show ourselves. We have membership tiers that are available for the show. You can go to members.theallaboutnothing.com, or you can go to theallaboutnothing.com. There's links there that you can find that will take you to our support page. We have just several tiers available, give you early access to episodes as well as exclusive content that we've released and we create and we publish. So just consider doing that as well. That is going to do it. You all have a great morning, and we'll probably connect this weekend. It's kind of what we do. So, new show releases on Monday. Episode we released this past Monday was a rebroadcast of another podcast that I did with my friends from the No Shortcuts show on YouTube. They are Midas and Fame. It was a really good time, and I was glad that I got re-release that show. So, all right, you all stay safe, be kind, and mostly keep your hands to yourself. All right, peace, everybody. Thank you.